Hi, welcome to another video. This is Glenn Moore. Interesting news item on the Dutch national news, namely that there have been no cases of flu in the Netherlands this year. I think I'm right in saying that. It's just 2021 rather than 2020. And an interesting explanation from the RIVM, which is the Dutch equivalent of the Center for Disease Control, the American organization, health organization. And the explanation is because of the flu shot. In other words, people who got the flu shot didn't get the flu, but no one else got it either, whether they got it or not, the flu shot, that is. So it's an interesting explanation. You can, of course, make up your own mind about these things, as I always invite you to do. But is it not also possible, plausible, if not likely, that flu has disappeared because it's been put down as COVID? Anyone with the flu is prescribed as having COVID, and therefore we have high COVID numbers and no flu at all. That seems to me to be at least as plausible, if not likely, as the flu jab explanation, which of course is dependent on the fact that everyone who would have got the flu did get the flu jab. And of course that's impossible to prove and almost certainly inaccurate. Just my opinion, and you do your own research, of course. An interesting tweet appeared on Twitter in relation to this same news item. Some wise acre said, well, this revelation about no flu at all in the Netherlands suggests one of two hypotheses. One is that COVID has swallowed flu for breakfast. I think those were the exact words, or something of that along those lines. So COVID has had flu for breakfast. In other words, has totally decimated it, which is in line with what I said earlier. And the other explanation is that someone is fooling us. Well, are they fooling us? It's very strange, isn't it, that certain statistics are presented in such a way as to almost always support the mainstream narrative that COVID is very dangerous, very lethal, and we must all be afraid of it, and we must all get tested or get vaccinated, etc. And without this mainstream PR propaganda, as it seems to me to be, what would there be to fear? We're talking about a virus, so-called, that has a 99.95% recovery rate. I think that relates to people under 70, or it could relate to people under 50. But again, do your own research. But anything in the 99% range, it seems to me, is extraordinary. And are people aware of that? I don't know. But if they're not, then they should be. And it does beg the question, why do we need a vaccine if there is a 99% or 99.5% recovery rate from those who actually get the virus, assuming they do and it's not something else with other factors? So yet again, this shows something, or reinforces something I've said before in these videos, that it's vital to ask questions, to question this whole narrative of what we're being told to believe and do in response to this so-called virus, and whether it's actually the appropriate response, really. There are many factors, many facts now coming out which would suggest that it isn't and never has been. Yet again, you make up your own mind. This is just me giving you my two penneth worth, as we would say in England. But yeah, you make up your own mind. But these are, again, indications for me. These are situations, if you like, where it is important to question what we're being told and to really go out again and do the research if you've not already done it. A friend of mine sent me a video the other day about a very wonderful quote. He said that questions are the steering wheel of the mind. I think that's a beautiful quote. Questions are the steering wheel of the mind. So in other words, if you're not asking questions, you're not moving the steering wheel. You're going straight and possibly heading into a brick wall, metaphorically, if not also mentally and emotionally. So bear that in mind. It's a powerful quote. Ask questions. And ask questions about the answers, you know, because people, I think, are so quick to be satisfied, so quick to believe the first answer that's given. You know, many people will believe that it is the flu jab that prevented anyone at all from getting the flu in the last 3 or 4 months. And others may believe that it's the COVID restrictions. The problem with that, of course, is that why do we still have supposedly very large numbers of COVID cases when the restrictions are supposed to work? Clearly they're not working, or they're not working as we've been told to think that they are. I leave the rest to you to judge. Thank you for listening.